Hey there traders, thanks for joining me for this free video from thestockbandit.com. I hope that last week was a good week of trading for you. So as we get prepared for a 4-day trading week this next week, market being closed on Monday in observance of MLK Day, let's take a look at the indices. Let's look at where we are and consider the key levels here that we've got to keep on the radar in the days ahead, knowing that with such high correlation out there in stocks, the index levels are the ones that we can really kind of base our game plan off of, knowing that that's going to influence so many individual stocks. So last week we saw just kind of a gradual grind higher. We saw another Tuesday gap to the upside, which really made the difference for the week. For the NASDAQ, that followed the previous Tuesday's gap to start off the new year. So we've seen a couple of opening lifts on Tuesday. All in all, for the week, NASDAQ finished better, finished higher by a little better than 1%. So, a couple things that took place here. We did pull back kind of to test this 4-week uptrend line on Friday. That's really about the 2685 area. We didn't quite touch it. We stopped at 2689 on Friday, and then we lifted from there and went out close to the highs of the day, just a couple points off the best levels. Still down on the day, but when you take a look at a 6-day winning streak and then a down day being only 14 points, it's certainly not much. It still points to the presence of buyers. And in fact, looking at the intraday chart on Friday, here's that gap down that we saw in the morning. We saw the morning low established, so that dip was bought. We lifted from there, pulled back again, created a higher low there intraday, so kind of a second chance there for dip buyers to step in, which they did, and they continued buying into the close to kind of lift us off the worst levels of the day. So here's where we stand for the NASDAQ. We're still holding up pretty well here. We've got this unfilled gap down here to this 2676 level. We stopped shy of that on Friday, but we may pull back a little further and test that zone. And on the upside, though, we've kind of got the upper end of this channel, which really coincides with these best closes that we've seen up here around 2737 and 2738. That's kind of right in the same little zone right there as where this upper trend line currently stands of this short-term 4-week channel. We also have the recovery high up here at 2753, and those are the levels to be watching for the NASDAQ. For the S&P, we saw this index again continue to respect this 1294 level. In fact, on Friday, it topped at exactly that level. Twice last week, we nudged just past it, topping at 1296. But again, 1294 is still the major level to watch. That's this yellow line, and you can see that last week it provided support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. Okay, and here we are again testing that area as resistance after this climb here off this December 19th low, which by the way is a higher low and another one there. So we're still seeing dips get bought overall, but for the S&P, 1294 is the big level. If we do happen to push through that level with some acceleration, we may run all the way back up here to this 1350 area where we topped out for the last time back in July. But overall, pretty good price action here. 1294 has held for now. We need to get through there if we're going to see the buyers continue to push this index north. We've got this rising trend line at about 1226 to watch in case we happen to pull back. For the Russell, this index really respecting 772. On Thursday we topped at 770.6, so we got within 1.5 points of this big level, and you can see last year how many occasions this zone was important, including last October as we rallied up just shy of that and then pulled back. So again, this is a very important zone, 772 for the Russell. And if we do happen to pull back, we've got this uptrend line right here about 718, corresponds with this early August recovery high. That's this green line turning red here by my pointer. But again, 718 kind of the next spot to pull back to if we do happen to sell off. And then finally for the Dow, seen this index really respect 12,300 over the past several months. We broke through there and then tested it there in mid-July, and then we rallied back up there in late October, and more recently it's been serving as resistance. Well, we punched through there to start off this year, and since we've cleared it, we've tested it a couple times on intraday pullbacks, but we've held above it on a closing basis. So 12.3, still a very important zone, now has become support, and the next level to be watching is up here around 12,750. So there's a look at the indices. If you're looking for some trade ideas to add to your own, be sure and check out the trial over at thestockbandit.com. We'd love to show you what we're all about. Thanks for joining me for this video. I will see you soon with more, but in the meantime, trade like a bandit.